It's so embarrassing how easy he is to manipulate. It's like when you give kids Pokemon cards to get them to behave. A golf bag, a putter, a medal, and now a crown.
I think we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Like, you want to see a great case thing on, like, narcissism. Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump. You should shut up. He's a narcissist. Neutral energy. I think he was a one-hit wonder, right? He wrote the tweet.
Donald Trump just had one of those weeks where even his spray tan probably wanted to take a break. Jimmy Kimmel looked at his latest meltdown and turned it into pure comedy gold, like he was reborn as the king of late night again. And then there's Bill Burr, who roasted him so brutally you could almost smell that burnt ego drifting through the universe. Two totally different comedy worlds somehow collided, all to roast the same guy. And honestly, it turned out funnier than anyone could have imagined.
Trump thinks this is his house, which it is. When you stay at an Airbnb, you're not allowed to blow out a wall. This is the same. He's not even a renter. He's a guest in the. He thinks he's OJ. He's actually Kato Kalin.
He was on the casino circuit. You idiot liberals wrote him twist again when you indicted him. And now he's a martyr.
And now
he's coming back, Jimmy.
The peppermint twist
he's
is back.
Coming back. It's going to be great for comedy. He's coming.
It started like one of those days when the news feels like the universe is messing with you. You're just scrolling through your feed and boom, Donald Trump is trending again. But this time, it's not about politics, not about rallies, and not even one of those weird statements that usually include a wall, a witch hunt, or some random food item. It's just one of those moments where you can't help but think, seriously, what now?
That's supposed to review projects like this, preferably before they happen. It's called the Commission of Fine Arts. Their job is to oversee new federal architecture, or it was anyway. Trump fired all of them. They were supposed to advise the president on matters of design and aesthetics to preserve the dignity of the nation's capital, but this is Trump's idea of dignified aesthetics, so now Trump's planning to bring in a new group whose tastes align more with his.
This time, it's like fate decided to have some fun, teaming up two completely different comedy worlds to go after the same guy. Jimmy Kimmel and Bill Burr, both in their own wild styles, somehow ended up roasting Donald Trump in the same week, like the universe scheduled a double feature just to make sure his ego didn't stand a chance.
Let me just read this here. Donald Trump walked into an arena that holds 20,000 people and 19,999 people were so happy. And then there was Bill Burr's wife. Yeah, and I love how people are like, oh, how can you do that? It's like, well, he's racist. He likes to sort of plagiarize some Hitler stuff every once in a while. Like, what is surprising that a black woman wouldn't like him? I don't like the guy. My wife giving him the finger is what I love about my wife. Do you know where you stand with her? And you can't say that about a lot of people.
The funniest part is, they don't even realize they're in the same kitchen, roasting the same bird, except this one's orange, loud, and completely allergic to humility. Kimmel jumped in first, smooth and precise. Like the Hollywood pro, he is cracking jokes with that calm smile and slicing through the chaos with pure, polished sarcasm.
We had a signing ceremony to seal the deal and declare a new golden age of U.S.-Japan relations. There you go. They'd say it the same way in Japanese. The Prime Minister then joined Trump at a rally aboard the USS Washington, where she got to hear him just rambling to our troops on a range of subjects, including magnets. He hates magnets. He hates magnets, windmills, and sharks. But he loves...
He didn't have to shout or crack open a beer. All Kimmel had to do was talk about Trump's latest chaos with that tired, half-amused tone that basically says, I can't believe this guy's still writing my jokes for me. And right on cue, Trump delivered another rambling, ego-fueled performance so bizarre, it felt like it was ghost-written by a glitchy robot. While Kimmel was breaking it down under the late-night spotlight, Bill Burr was getting ready for his own kind of takedown, and that's what made it so good. Two comedians, totally different worlds, somehow syncing up in spirit. One brings the smooth, crafted satire of TV, the other hits with that raw, unfiltered honesty only stand-up can deliver. It all started when Trump tried to clarify something, a word he probably should have retired a long time ago, and somehow made everything even more confusing. Kimmel caught it instantly, grinning like a cat that just spotted a laser pointer, and you could almost feel the writers backstage celebrating, knowing this bit was about to write itself.
I'll be honest with you, I can't believe Trump didn't win this thing like 4 months ago. I know that's weird for younger people to hear, but when I was a kid, if you were running for president and you got shot and you didn't die, that was the end of the election. There was nothing you could say. Everybody would just be like, this guy's the man. He is the king. I'll be honest with you. I think the #1 reason, like, Trump survived is all those herky-jerky movements that he does. You just can't, like, nail the guy down.
Meanwhile, Burr didn't even need a clip or any setup. Just the fact that Trump had opened his mouth again was enough to fire him up. That's all it takes for him to explode into 20 straight minutes of honest, frustrated comedy. His brilliance is in that chaos, that disbelief where he's half yelling, half convincing himself that humanity might still be okay. Kimmel's jokes landed with clean precision, while Burr's hit like a sledgehammer. Kimmel turned Trump into this living, breathing punchline, the kind of guy who could make even a teleprompter roll its eyes, and Burr just ripped the mask off the whole circus. He questioned why this madness is still going on, why people keep falling for it. And of course, Trump reacted exactly how everyone knew he would. All wounded pride and outrage. Somewhere in that endless tangle of his social media posts, there's probably a rant about late-night hosts being jealous, boring, or whatever else he says when the jokes hit too close. But honestly, that's the part Kimmel loves most. The outrage just gives him fresh material to play with.
You know, catapults, which is better, the electric or the steam? They had steam, which works so beautifully. Steam, they said they could fix it with a hammer and a blowtorch. I love the sight of that beautiful steam pouring off that deck. I'm going to sign an executive order. When we build aircraft carriers, it's steam. I like steam. We're going to go back to steam.
And when we run out of steam, we're going to oxen. Big teams of beautiful oxen. He loves...
Kimmel's like a comedy magnet. The more outrage Trump throws at him, the more hilarious his next show becomes. He's basically turned Trump's rants into his own energy source. Then there's Bill Burr, who doesn't even bother pretending to be polite. Holding back just isn't in his DNA. Taking shots at powerful people is what keeps him going. So when Trump's name comes up, Burr doesn't waste a second dressing it up. He just dives straight into that wild, furious rhythm he's famous for, the kind that feels so real you can almost see every muscle in his neck working overtime. He shatters the whole myth of Trump being untouchable. Kimmel, on the other hand, figured out Trump's routine. Ages ago, every new plan or announcement feels like another bad Shark Tank pitch full of the same recycled lines like "the greatest," "believe me," and a lot of people are saying. Burr doesn't analyze any of that. He just laughs in disbelief. Like someone watching a guy try to light a cigar with a toaster and brag about how easy it is. And somehow, the timing of both roasts lined up perfectly, like the universe decided to give Trump a back-to-back reality check. On one side, Kimmel's calmly taking apart his latest stretch of logic, while Burr's going all in, tearing through it with pure fire.
Literally got shot and immediately jumped back up and started yelling in the direction the bullets were coming from. That's not a sane human being. I would have been on the ground crying in the fetal position like, all right, give me the truck. I don't want this job anymore. But Trump's got all those weird, coming out. I think the guy couldn't get like a bead on him, And like right as he pulled the trigger, Trump was just like, "And Sleepy Joe!" And the bullet went by his head.
Burr, on the other hand, sounded like a man who still can't believe Trump keeps popping up in the news, like some political cousin of the Kardashians who just won't leave the spotlight. And that's the funny part. Both Kimmel and Burr, in totally different styles, ended up showing the same thing. Trump doesn't really need haters. He just desperately needs an editor. He's the kind of guy who can create and fix a scandal all in one breath. Kimmel pointed it out with smooth, late-night precision, while Burr yelled it out like he was trying to wake the whole planet. Picture it like a movie. Kimmel in his fancy studio, suit perfect, calmly taking apart Trump's nonsense like a teacher explaining gravity to a stubborn kid. Then flip the screen to Burr, hoodie on, stalking the stage, sounding like a guy who just realized logic might have gone extinct. And of course, the internet went wild. Kimmel's clips spreading everywhere, timelines blowing up with people laughing, arguing, and doing what they always do when Trump and comedy collide.
Things out as only Donald Trump can. We used to send the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on these USO tours, and now we have this. Meanwhile, while Trump's slurping noodles in Japan were on day 28 of his big, beautiful government shutdown, air traffic controllers missed their first paycheck today. So if you are visiting us from out of town, you live here now.
So Burr's rant kind of just exploded online. One clip turns into a meme, then suddenly it's everywhere. People laughing, arguing, quoting him like it's deep philosophy or something. That's the internet, man. Trump's fans jumped in too, trying to twist it into some kind of badge of honor like, see, he's still the main character. Nah, bro, the whole point was look at this mess. But somehow he always flips it. You roast him, he feeds off it. It's wild. Like watching a comic book villain who gets stronger every time you insult him. You can't really parody someone who's already living in a parody of himself. And yet, watching guys like Kimmel and Burr try, That's the good stuff. It's like watching two top chefs trying to turn a disaster into dinner. Burr probably saw the headlines, laughed, poured a drink, and said, "Of course he did. It's the same cycle every time. Trump says something insane. Comedians lose their minds, the country laughs, and he acts like it was all part of the plan." But this week hit different. Seeing Kimmel go clean and sharp while Burr went full chaos mode, it showed just how comedy can bend, twist, and still somehow make sense of the madness. Kimmel's jokes weren't just funny, they felt like a sigh of relief. Like finally someone's saying out loud what everyone's thinking.
But he is the greatest shit talker of all time. He sat at like $100,000 breakfast while the president trashed him. Humiliated.
This is a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'm jumping around.
White House Correspondents' Dinner, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for giving it structure.
Yeah.
Humiliated the guy.
Right.
My wife would love you. You should sit next to me during brunch. She never knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sits there, the guy totally trashes him. He's absolutely humiliated. And within like 2-3 years, he had that guy's job.
Right.
So you could never talk. You could never.
Burr came in raw, like a burst of pure emotion, the kind that feels less like a joke and more like therapy for everyone who's ever yelled at their screen in disbelief. Between him and Kimmel, they somehow managed to capture every reaction America's had to Trump over the years. Confusion, laughter, anger, and that weird mix of amusement and exhaustion. And you can almost picture Trump watching all of it, grinning, convincing himself it's proof he's still the main event. To him, being mocked just means he's relevant. What he doesn't seem to get is that he's basically turned himself into the world's most reliable content machine. Late-night writers probably pray for his next meltdown just to fill airtime. Still, there's something oddly fascinating about how he never fades from the spotlight. Kimmel, with his cool sarcasm, knows that. He doesn't have to twist the knife. He just lets Trump's own contradictions do the work, and somehow Trump still calls it a win. In the end, both Kimmel and Burr showed something kind of deep about comedy today. That you don't need to plan or collaborate to make sense of the same absurd circus. You just react, honestly, and the whole world ends up laughing anyway.
Is very busy prosecuting his enemies. His goon squad today indicted his own former national security advisor, John Bolton. He is just brazenly lying about the economy and grocery prices, but he did have a chat with Vlad Putin today, which we know because while he was on the phone with Putin, he posted, "I am speaking to President Putin now." The conversation is ongoing, a lengthy one, and I will report the contents, as will President Putin at its conclusion. Thank you for your attention.
Kimmel's sharp wit and Burr's unfiltered honesty are really just two sides of the same coin, and somehow that coin keeps landing right on Trump's face. At this point, he's less of a political figure and more like a recurring character in a global sitcom that nobody can turn off. Every time he shows up, there's a fresh subplot. Another rally, another lawsuit, another big reveal that reveals absolutely nothing. He's turned grievance into a brand, and comedians like Kimmel and Burr just keep documenting it, each in their own way. Kimmel does it with that sly grin and surgical timing, while Burr just explodes with raw frustration that somehow feels like a national mood. And maybe that's the funniest part. No matter how many times Trump tries to reinvent his story, it always circles back to comedy. Sometimes it's Kimmel's brand of clever irony, sometimes it's Burr's unfiltered rant, and sometimes it's the unintentional comedy Trump writes himself. It's an endless loop. Trump does something, comedians react, the world laughs, and then he tops himself the next week. Kimmel just shakes his head. Burr probably loses his mind, and the rest of us watch like it's the world's most chaotic reality show. So when people say Kimmel and Burr destroyed Trump, it's not because they teamed up. They didn't have to. He practically handed them the script, flubbed every line, and performed it live for everyone to see.
When I do stand up, you know, if I start trashing like Trump, I would hear the left in the crowd like, yeah, and I'd be like, you voted for a guy that, you know, is staring off into space. Like your guy literally should be in a home. What are you patting yourself on the back for? X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. Your party has not let you has not let you choose your candidate since Obama's second term.
Yeah.
Trump always wanted to own pop culture, to be the guy everyone's talking about, the loudest name in every room. Well, congratulations, mission accomplished. He's become the headline, the meme, the punchline, and the legacy all at once. Kimmel turned his chaos into late-night gold, while Burr turned it into pure comedic therapy. And together, without even trying, they pulled off one of the most satisfying double roasts in recent memory. The truth is, comedians don't really destroy Trump. They just expose him. They flip on the light, and the show speaks for itself. And this week, between Kimmel's surgical humor and Burr's raw, fiery honesty, that show couldn't have looked more ridiculous. Somewhere right now, Trump's probably typing out an Angry response, blaming fake comedians for not appreciating his genius, and when he does, you already know how it'll go. Kimmel will smirk, Burr will laugh in disbelief, and the rest of us will be right there laughing with them. Because no matter what happens, that's the one thing Trump can never take away.